Among the crowd was Lily Carter, 17 years old, gentle hazel eyes, and a nervous smile on her lips. She wore a champagne satin gown with beaded sleeves, and a corsage of white roses wrapped delicately around her wrist. Her father had told her she looked just like her mother did at her own prom, a compliment that had made Lily tear up before leaving the house. Despite the excitement, something about Lily felt uneasy. She was quieter than usual. She checked her phone more often than most. Her smile came in flickers, as if she were holding something heavy beneath the surface. Her friends noticed. So did her date, Marcus. "What's wrong?" he whispered during a slow dance. Lily forced a laugh. "Nothing. Just tired. Too much hairspray in my lungs." But that wasn't it. What Lily didn't say was that she had discovered something devastating just days before. Something she planned to expose. A secret that would not only destroy her family's image but unravel a dark and forbidden betrayal. And tonight, she was ready to act. At 11:28 p.m., Lily was seen leaving the gym through the side doors. Surveillance footage shows her stepping into the cool night air, phone in hand. She looked over her shoulder once, paused as if considering going back inside, then continued across the parking lot. Just 5 minutes later, at 11:33 p.m., a scream pierced the air. A student named Tessa Monroe, on a phone call near the lot, heard the unmistakable cry for help. Raw, gurgled, and abruptly cut off. She rushed toward the sound and found Lily collapsed near the edge of the lot, between two parked cars. Her champagne dress was soaked in blood. The 911 call came at 11:36 p.m., the voice of a trembling teenager barely coherent. She's not breathing. There's so much blood. Please, you need to come now. Oh my God. I think she's dead." When paramedics arrived, Lily was unresponsive. Her body was still warm, but her pulse was gone. A single silver heel lay 5 feet away, its strap torn. Her phone screen was shattered beside her. By 12:10 a.m., Lily Carter was pronounced dead at Maple Ridge General Hospital. The news traveled like wildfire. Social media lit up within minutes. Photos of Lily at prom hours earlier, her final selfies, her sparkling smile. Comments poured in. "No, no, no. Tell me this isn't real. I was just dancing with her. How could something like this happen? At prom?" But it had happened. A girl was murdered on the happiest night of her life. And no one, not her friends, not her teachers, not even her father, had any idea that the killer was someone far closer than anyone dared to imagine. Someone waiting in the dark. Someone with everything to lose. Someone who had killed to keep a secret buried. To the people of Maple Ridge, the Carter family was the image of stability. They lived in a pristine 2-story home on Elmwood Drive, surrounded by trimmed hedges and a white picket fence. The kind of place that looked like it belonged on a postcard. Inside, it was always clean, always quiet. It was the kind of house where things looked perfect. But as investigators would soon learn, the Carters had been holding their breath for a long time. And eventually, everything suffocates under silence. Michael Carter, 45, was a well-known figure in town. A successful real estate agent with a calming voice and friendly demeanor, he sold dozens of homes each year and sponsored the local youth basketball team. But after the death of his first wife, Elena, from breast cancer in 2016, something in him changed. Friends said he became more distant, robotic even. Still, he kept going for Lily. Michael raised Lily as a single father for nearly 2 years. Then, at a charity event in 2018, he met a beautiful woman named Sabrina Whitaker, 28, a fitness instructor who had recently moved to town from Chicago. Within a year, they were married. "She brought light back into his life," said one colleague, or so it seemed. Sabrina was stunning, and the kind of figure that turned heads at the country club. She was charming, stylish, and always smiling. Too much, some said. She always seemed rehearsed. Lily's English teacher, Ms. Randall, would later tell detectives. Like she was playing the role of a good stepmother, but there was no warmth behind it. At first, Lily tried to accept Sabrina. She was only 13 when her father remarried, and part of her wanted a maternal presence again. But over the years, something shifted. Sabrina became more controlling, invasive, and cold. Lily often complained to friends that her stepmother went through her room when she wasn't home, criticized her appearance, and tried too hard to make her call her mom. One text from Lily to her best friend Grace read, "She's fake. She's not who she pretends to be with Dad. I swear there's something off about her." By 2022, the cracks in the Carter household were hard to ignore. Lily, now a senior and on track to graduate with honors, had grown more independent and defiant. In family photos from that year, the smiles look forced. Lily often stood slightly apart from Sabrina, her arms folded or her eyes avoiding the camera. School counselors noted Lily had come in to talk a few times during the spring semester. She mentioned stress at home, one counselor recalled. She didn't give details, but she said she felt like someone was watching her all the time, that she didn't trust the people in her house. Michael, meanwhile, remained oblivious or perhaps willfully blind. He often traveled for work, sometimes gone for 2 or 3 nights a week. He assumed that the cool distance between his daughter and new wife was just normal teenage rebellion. "I thought they just needed time to bond," he later said. "I had no idea. No idea at all. But someone else was watching. Someone who knew more than they should." Ethan Carter, Michael's 21-year-old son from his first marriage, had moved back into the house after dropping out of college in late 2021. He was quiet, kept to himself, and mostly worked part-time at a hardware store while figuring out what to do next. But Lily had her suspicions. She once confided in Grace. "Ethan and Sabrina, I don't know. They're weird around each other. Too close. I think something's going on." Grace brushed it off as paranoia. But Lily was right, and soon she would prove it. In the days after Lily's death, detectives began their routine, canvassing neighbors, interviewing family, collecting digital evidence. Sabrina sobbed through her first interview, claiming she had been at home that night, asleep. "It was Lily's big night. I was so proud of her," she said through tears. "I can't believe this happened." But her phone said otherwise. Investigators found her GPS history had been wiped around 10:45 p.m. and restored at 12:06 a.m., an immediate red flag. Forensics also discovered deleted messages, a hidden email account, and a strange connection to a prepaid phone purchased 2 weeks before Lily's murder. All roads were leading to one person, the woman who had everything to lose if the truth came out. 3 weeks before her death, Lily made a chilling journal entry. "I think I found something. It's disgusting. If I'm right, I can't stay quiet anymore. I just hope he believes me. If he doesn't, I don't know what will happen." She never mentioned names, but the implications were clear. Lily had discovered something she believed could destroy her family. She just didn't know it would get her killed. It began innocently, accidentally even. It was a gray, rainy afternoon 2 weeks before prom. Lily had come home early from school complaining of a headache. Her father was away on a business trip in St. Paul, and the house was unusually quiet. Sabrina was supposed to be at the gym teaching her afternoon Pilates class, and Lily, alone in the house, curled up on the couch with a blanket and her laptop, or rather, Sabrina's laptop. Lily's own computer had been acting up for days, freezing on startup and running sluggish. So, when she saw Sabrina's MacBook Pro sitting unattended on the kitchen counter, she didn't think twice. She just wanted to watch something light to distract herself. But when she opened it, the device was still logged in, and the screen flashed back to an open email tab. At first, she was going to close it, but curiosity got the better of her. That's when she saw the subject line, "Can't stop thinking about last night. Love." The email was from someone named ethan.carter19@gmail.com. At first, Lily thought it was a coincidence, maybe another Ethan. But her stomach turned when she saw the full signature. "Ethan Carter, sent from my phone. Her half-brother." Lily clicked the thread. What opened was a sequence of messages and replies spanning weeks, maybe months. She scrolled again. Her hand trembled. "You looked so good sneaking into my room last night. I still can't believe we're doing this. If your dad ever finds out, we're dead." But I don't care. You're worth it. Promise me Lily won't find out. She hates me already. If she sees us together. Her eyes widened. Heart pounding, she clicked open attached photos. There they were. Selfies of Sabrina and Ethan. Some in bed, others in compromising poses. One in particular made her physically gag. Sabrina, wearing Ethan's hoodie, kissing his cheek, both of them shirtless. It didn't feel real. She slammed the laptop shut, backed away from the table, and nearly knocked over a chair. Her heart was racing. Her hands were shaking. She ran upstairs and locked herself in her room. She stayed there until sundown. Lily didn't sleep that night. She stared at her ceiling, her phone clutched in her hands. She drafted a dozen messages to her dad but deleted everyone. What could she even say? That his wife, her stepmother, was having an affair with his son? The words felt impossible to put together. But it explained everything. The weird tension. The whispering. The night Sabrina would emerge from the hallway in Ethan's hoodie. The way they looked at each other at dinner when they thought no one was watching. The next morning, Lily confronted Ethan. Stepped into the kitchen. Her eyes were red. Her voice was cold. I know what happened before school, just after sunrise. Ethan was pouring cereal when Lily asked you're doing, she said. Ethan froze, the spoon mid-air. What are you talking about? I saw the emails. The photos. You and Sabrina. There was a long silence. Then Ethan set the spoon down. He didn't deny it. She loves me, he said quietly, like it justified everything. You don't get it. We didn't mean for it to happen. You're sick, Lily snapped. You're sleeping with your father's wife. She's not your mother, he hissed. She's still married to him, Lily fired back. And I'm going to tell Dad. The words hung in the air like a dagger. And in that moment, she saw real fear in Ethan's eyes. That evening, Lily waited for her father to fall asleep. Then she cornered Sabrina in the kitchen. I know everything, she said. You're disgusting. Sabrina's perfectly composed face twitched. Excuse me? You and Ethan, Lily said, throwing the printed emails across the granite countertop. You think you can just play house and pretend you're not a monster? Sabrina stared at the papers, then looked Lily in the eyes. Something shifted. You have no idea what you're talking about, she said through gritted teeth. Stay out of things that don't concern you. They do concern me, Lily said, her voice rising. My family's falling apart because of you. You don't belong here, and I'm going to tell Dad. I'll tell the whole world if I have to. Lily turned to leave, but Sabrina's voice followed her like a snake. You need to be very careful, Lily. You're just a child. You don't understand the damage you could cause. But Lily did understand, and she wasn't going to let them get away with it. For the next 10 days, the house was cold, silent, tense. Michael didn't know what was happening. He assumed Lily was being distant because of stress, final exams, prom prep. Sabrina told him Lily was going through a mood, but behind closed doors, Lily was planning. She had copies of the emails. She had screenshots, photos, backups. And on prom night, she told Grace that she was done keeping secrets. Her exact words were chilling. After tonight, they won't be able to lie anymore. Everyone will know what they've done. She didn't realize that someone was already planning to silence her. Forever. By the morning of May 14th, prom day, Lily Carter had made up her mind. She would no longer be silent. She had spent the last 10 days documenting everything. She had printed copies of the emails, screenshots of explicit messages, and even recorded a voice memo recounting the night she discovered the affair between her stepmother and her half-brother. On her nightstand, she left a sealed envelope marked, "For Dad. Read this if something happens to me." Sabrina Carter was calm. Too calm. She went through the motions that morning like it was any other Saturday. She made breakfast, did a light workout in the garage, and even complimented Lily's prom dress when she saw it hanging from the closet door. Her voice was syrupy sweet. I hope tonight is everything you dreamed of, sweetheart, she said with a rehearsed smile. Lily didn't respond. She simply looked at Sabrina and muttered, after tonight, we'll see what kind of dreams come true. It was a loaded statement, One Sabrina clearly understood. She wasn't just nervous. She was panicking inside. At 4:35 p.m., Lily left the house with her date, Marcus. Sabrina watched from the upstairs window. She wasn't smiling anymore. She had already made her decision. Her world, her carefully controlled life, was on the verge of collapse. She had spent years cultivating an image. The beautiful second wife, the young, supportive stepmother, the woman who saved a grieving man and gave his daughter structure. But if Lily exposed her affair with Ethan, all of that would come crashing down. Michael would leave her. The town would ostracize her. The family would implode. She couldn't allow that. She wouldn't allow that. By 6 p.m., Sabrina had retrieved a prepaid burner phone from the back of her closet. She powered it on and sent a single message from an anonymous number to Lily's phone. "Meet me in the parking lot at 11:30. Urgent. Come alone." She then deleted the message from the phone's sent log. What she didn't delete, however, was her GPS tracking, which would later be her undoing. The prom was held in the Maple Ridge High School gym, transformed into a glittering fantasy under the theme Midnight Mirage. Lily arrived with Marcus, seemingly in good spirits. She danced, took photos, laughed, but there was still that weight in her expression, something unresolved. Around 10:50 p.m., she pulled Grace aside. "I'm going to meet someone. I might finally end this tonight." Grace asked who. Lily only shook her head. "Just, if anything happens, remember I didn't make this up." At exactly 11:28 p.m., Lily walked outside. Security footage later confirmed the moment she passed through the gym's side door, stepping into the cool night air. Her hair was slightly tousled from dancing, her corsage still fresh. She walked alone. Sabrina was already there, parked 2 rows over in her black Lexus SUV, engine off, lights dimmed. Lily's phone buzzed. "Back row, near the trees. Hurry." As Lily approached, the confrontation began. Sabrina stepped out of the shadows, wearing dark clothes and gloves. Her face was unreadable. "What do you want?" Lily asked, her voice low. "You've been threatening me," Sabrina replied. "Threatening your own family. You did that when you started screwing Ethan." The words sliced like a blade. Sabrina's composure cracked. "You don't know what you're talking about," she hissed. "I know enough," Lily said, pulling out her phone. "And I have proof. I sent it to Grace. If anything happens to me..." Before she could finish, Sabrina lunged. What happened next was swift and savage. Sabrina pulled a small kitchen knife from her coat. Lily screamed, stumbling backward, but tripped on the curb near the lot's edge. The first stab hit her shoulder. The second pierced her side. The third, her chest. A fatal blow. Lily gasped, clutching her wound, her blood soaking the sequined front of her gown. She collapsed, her head hitting the asphalt. Sabrina stood over her, breathing heavily, her hands shaking, her face pale. Then she did something cold, calculated. She snatched Lily's phone, smashed it against the curb, and stuffed it in her coat. Then she dragged Lily's body several feet behind a parked SUV, out of direct sight, before rushing back to her own vehicle. Within 4 minutes, she was gone. At 11:35 p.m., Lily's friend Tessa, heading out for air, spotted something in the corner of the lot. Fabric? A shape? A dress? What she found was unimaginable. Lily was lying face up, her mouth slightly open, her eyes glassy, her dress soaked. Tessa screamed for help. At 11:36 p.m., she called 911. By 11:45 p.m., police were on scene. By 12:10 a.m., Lily Carter was gone. When police arrived at the Carter residence to deliver the devastating news, Michael collapsed. Sabrina, in her robe and slippers, sobbed uncontrollably. But something was off. Her eyes darted around too quickly. Her reactions were timed. One officer would later recall, it was like she was trying to perform grief, not feel it. And when they asked to see her phone, she hesitated. A hesitation that would unravel everything. What was meant to be a night of glittering memories ended in screams, flashing red lights, and crime scene tape. The Maple Ridge High School gymnasium, once filled with laughter and music, was now a silent shell. Outside, students huddled together in disbelief. Many still wore their corsages and high heels. Some cried. Others simply stared. Word had spread like wildfire. Lily Carter had been murdered. By midnight, detectives had arrived and cordoned off the southeast corner of the school's parking lot. Lily's body remained where it was found, half hidden behind a silver sedan. Her dress, once a shimmering champagne color, was now stained deep red. Detectives found her clutch nearby, torn open, but oddly her phone was missing. That was the first red flag. Another oddity. No sign of forced robbery, no sexual assault, no immediate motive. The wounds were precise, controlled, no excessive violence. 3 stabs, 1 fatal. This wasn't random, said Detective Karen Alston. It was personal, and it happened fast. Within an hour, they were combing through school surveillance footage. At 11:28 p.m., Lily is seen exiting the gym alone. She checks her phone as she walks toward the back of the lot. 10 minutes later, she's found dead. No camera captured the exact murder. Maple Ridge's cameras didn't cover the outer parking rows. But there were clues. At 11:31 p.m., a shadowy figure is caught entering from the far northeast side. It's unclear whether it's male or female. But what is clear is that someone else was there, and that someone had waited. Detectives also located faint tire marks just beyond where Lily was found, leading in and out. They swabbed them for potential residue. And just as they were preparing to clear the scene, a school custodian approached with a discovery. There's a phone smashed near the bike rack. Looked like it had been stomped. It was Lily's phone, cracked, blood-smeared, and wiped. But tech forensics would later recover enough data to reconstruct the final messages received that night. Time: 10:59 p.m. From an unknown number. Meet me in the parking lot at 11:30. Back row. Urgent. Come alone. Lily responded at 11:02 p.m. Who is this? No reply. Her last message, sent at 11:10 p.m., read, Sabrina? That message never got a response. Back at the Carter home, the reaction to Lily's death was predictably devastating, at least from her father. Michael Carter collapsed on the couch when the officer delivered the news. He clutched Lily's baby photo from the mantel and sobbed uncontrollably. Sabrina? She cried. She screamed. She even punched a wall. But something didn't sit right with Officer Nolan, who stood quietly in the hallway. Her tears came too quickly. Then they stopped just as fast. She asked repeatedly whether Lily's phone was found. When told it was being analyzed, she became unusually quiet. Then she asked, what about cameras in the parking lot? Are there any near the back fence? It was an oddly specific question for a grieving stepmother. The turning point came the next morning, when digital analysts tracked the anonymous text to a burner phone purchased from a Walgreens 2 weeks earlier. Guess who had visited that Walgreens according to loyalty card records and timestamped CCTV? Sabrina Carter. The footage was blurry, but it was her. Wearing sunglasses, hoodie, baseball cap, paying in cash. She bought a prepaid track phone, a pair of black gloves, a pack of wet wipes, a folding pocket knife. When detectives presented this information to Michael, he collapsed again, this time from the weight of betrayal. I thought she loved Lily, he said through tears. I thought she was helping us heal. Then he handed the detectives something chilling. An envelope found on Lily's nightstand, labeled in Lily's handwriting. For Dad. Read this if something happens to me. Inside was a 2-page letter and a USB drive. The letter outlined everything Lily had discovered. The affair, the emails, the plan to confront Sabrina, the fear she felt that Sabrina might retaliate. The USB contained screenshots of messages between Sabrina and Ethan, one of which read, She's going to ruin everything. If she opens her mouth, we're finished. By Monday morning, an arrest warrant was issued for Sabrina Carter. She was found at a friend's lake house packing bags. Her burner phone was smashed and freshly reset. When officers arrived, she didn't cry, only asked, Did he read the letter? Maple Ridge was shocked. A woman trusted to raise a child had killed her. News vans crowded the Carter home. Students held a candlelight vigil. Lily's prom date, Marcus, said, "She was the bravest person I knew. She didn't deserve this." At 4:12 p.m. on May 16th, Sabrina was brought into custody. Disheveled, silent, and without a lawyer, she soon confessed. She admitted luring Lily to the school parking lot, texting her from a burner phone, and bringing a knife. She claimed she only meant to talk, but panicked when Lily threatened to expose her affair with Ethan. But the stab wounds told a different story. 3 precise strikes, the last piercing Lily's heart. No signs of struggle, no defensive wounds. When her lawyer finally arrived, Sabrina had already confessed. Meanwhile, Ethan Carter vanished. He quit his job, emptied his bank account, and disappeared until May 17th, when he turned himself in, saying, "I know everything. Arrest me." Ethan revealed the affair began 10 months earlier. It grew from flirtation to secret meetings. Sabrina told him Lily was a threat and had to be handled. Messages on his phone confirmed it, especially one sent hours before Lily's death. "Tomorrow night, it ends." On May 21st, both were indicted. Sabrina Carter, first-degree murder, evidence tampering, obstruction. Ethan Carter, accessory to murder, failure to report, obstruction. Ethan pled guilty to obstruction and testified against Sabrina. The trial began October 3, 2022. Media swarmed the courthouse. Prosecutors laid out the case. A deadly affair, a threatened secret, and a premeditated killing. Ethan's testimony confirmed Sabrina's manipulation and his role in covering up the crime. The court heard Lily's chilling voice memo recorded days before her death. "If anything happens to me, just know I didn't lie. Sabrina is sleeping with Ethan. I'm scared, but I won't back down." Sabrina's defense claimed emotional distress, provocation, and blamed Ethan, but jurors didn't believe it. One text sealed her fate. "It's done. She's gone. You're safe." On October 26th, Sabrina was found guilty of first-degree murder and sentenced to life without parole. 2 weeks later, Ethan received 10 years in prison, with parole possible after 6. He expressed deep remorse. Michael Carter sold their home and moved to Oregon. He founded the Lily Carter Foundation, helping girls in toxic homes. At Lily's school, a bench honors her memory. It reads, "Sometimes the truth is the only weapon we have, even if it kills us."